Taken at the 7 by a long. And out to the 28-yard line.
Really important for Matt Cassel to get off to a good, solid start here. Have some good completions, get his confidence up, because I don't care how you look at it, his confidence is a little bit shaken right now.
From the 28-yard line, opening possession for the Chiefs. Dumps it off to Mike Cox, the fullback, and he's driven out of bounds. 2nd and 8 just underway here in Kansas City. Out into the flat, and the Bills are ready for that. Lance Long went nowhere. Well, a botched play and an inauspicious start for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Not a great start for the Kansas City Chiefs. That was very, very unimpressive, to say the least. Right here, Matt Cassel thought he saw something, decided to pull it back in, and then gets it bumped by Rudy Niswanger, the center. But we saw some things, some new twists in the Kansas City Chiefs offense. A lot of shifting, the little hurry up that we're going to see a lot more of today on 3rd down. But Buffalo did a very good job adjusting to all of it.
Roscoe Parrish awaits the punt, and he's going to let it bounce. And it rolls dead at the 35-yard line. And a little pushing and shoving after the 39-yard punt, and no return. They'll start from their own 36-yard line. I formation. Jackson, the deep back. First possession for Buffalo. Jackson picks up a yard. 2nd and 9 for the Bills. Just underway here at Arrowhead. Fitzpatrick will throw. Steps up. He'll take off, and he's not afraid to run with the football. Dives forward, brought down at the 43-yard line. 3rd and 2 for Buffalo. Fitzpatrick from the shotgun. With time to the sideline. Incomplete, intended for Terrell Owens. Brandon Carr got a great break on the football, and the Bills are going to have to punt.
He did get a great break on the ball, Bill, but you're going to see T.O. was ready for that ball a little bit sooner. The ball was thrown inside and a little bit late, and Brandon Carr almost had a chance to take that the other way. Ryan Fitzpatrick has got to get that ball out of there a little bit quicker and on the outside, because as we know, in the NFL, there's very, very small windows to put that ball. If you make a mistake, these defensive players are going to make you pay the price.
So both teams go 3 and out to start. Good punt from Mormon. Wade calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 10-yard line. Todd Haley would like to change that. The Chiefs need to get out of the gate quicker. They've scored only 3 points on their opening drives all season. Also one of only 4 teams in the league without a first-quarter touchdown pass. And that picks up a couple of yards. Jamal Charles, the speedster, in his 2nd year out of the University of Texas.
Well, another thing about this Kansas City offense, only 3 rushing touchdowns this year. In fact, their rushing touchdown differential this year is tied for 29th in the NFL, -10. The team they're tied with, Buffalo. Both of the teams have struggled scoring touchdowns running the ball this year.
Fake it to Charles, and they swing it out to Bobby Wade. And that will lose a little bit of yardage. Dante Whitner was there.
Well, we're seeing a concerted effort by Todd Haley to come out and try and get the ball to these wide receivers on quick passes like that. Right there, you see Bobby Wade, but really impressed by how the Buffalo Bills are.
Downfield, number 64 on the offense. Penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Really impressed how the Buffalo Bills are closing and making these open field tackles. Not as easy as they're making it look right now.
Well, one of the things that Todd Haley wanted to do was go no huddle on 3rd down, increase the tempo. He thinks that will help them in 3rd down conversions. And here they go. And that is caught by Brad Cottam, the tight end. A big gain on 3rd down. Jarris Byrd made the stop.
Bill, that's an absolutely huge play for Matt Cassel's confidence right there. Backed up in your own end zone, 3rd and long, to have the confidence to make that throw. Now it helps. Brad Cottam's about 6'7", so you can put that ball up in the air comfortably over those linebackers and not worry about it sailing to the safety. But a very well thrown ball. Great catch by Brad Cottam. A huge conversion for the Kansas City Chiefs to get out of their own end zone.
That was good for 26 yards. Caught him at 3 catches last week against Denver for 21. The throw again on first down. Out into the flat. Leonard Pope, the tight end. And that's a nice pickup on first down. And the Kansas City Chiefs are moving the football.
And there we see the third down struggles both of these teams have had. Right there we saw Kansas City make a very nice 3rd and long conversion, but the absolute worst 2 teams in the NFL converting third downs all year.
2nd and 1. They give it to the fullback, Tim Castile. And Castile is into Buffalo territory. Another Kansas City first down.
Well, one of the themes that we're going to be able to develop today, Bill, I think, because the Buffalo Bills are not going to change their skin. You're going to see a lot of pressure at the line of scrimmage from this defense trying to make the negative yardage play or the no yardage run stop. But what ends up happening, one guy out of position, there's a seam and a big chance for a play.
They throw it again. Bobby Wade with the catch. And another nice play from Kansas City. Wade had a couple of missed opportunities last week and some words with Todd Haley. Talked with Todd about it. He said they cleared the air. He said it was just sort of one of those heat of the moment kind of things, and everything is fine now.
Matt Cassel looks very sharp on this drive. It looks to me as though he's come out and said, you know what, enough is enough. Let's start making some plays.
Charles cuts it back inside, brought down hard, short of the first down. Paul Posluszny made the tackle. And that's going to be a first down to Charles. And the Chiefs move the chains again. George Wilson made the stop.
And Matt Cassel, knowing the down and distance 3rd and short, knows he's got a playmaker in Jamal Charles out in the flat. Just had the step on George Wilson right there, delivered a very accurate ball, picked up the first down again.
So 1st and 10 from the Buffalo 34-yard line. Castile is the deep back. What a great fake. Cassel on the move. Well, he didn't slide. Trying to fight for extra yardage and out of bounds. At about the 32-yard line, Dante Whitner made the stop.
Both Matt Cassel and Ryan Fitzpatrick, 2 very good running quarterbacks. In fact, the top 2 running quarterbacks in the NFL over the last couple of years, both of them well over 400 yards. Not afraid to tuck the ball and run it when they need to. And here we see some more of the shifting going on. We saw a lot of that in practice on Friday, trying to get Buffalo out of position.
Cassel 7 of 7. That's Lance Long, and that's going to lose a couple of yards. George Wilson led the charge, the strong safety.
Well, Bill, this is all cute in theory, all this stuff going on. Here we see the Kansas City Chiefs doing their hurry up 3rd down package, but the quick pass is not working at this point out of those shifting formations.
3rd and long for the Chiefs. Incomplete. Leonard Pope was the intended receiver. So that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, that was a good positive drive for the Chiefs to this point anyway. Getting out of their own end zone, a couple of big 3rd down conversions. I think Matt Cassel had an opportunity on that play right there. Bobby Wade was coming into a hole a little deeper up the field where Matt Cassel might have had a chance to pick up the first down, but I think rather than risk a possible interception, he decided to try and take the underneath throw there.
Dustin Colquitt standing at midfield, 2nd in the AFC with a 41.4 net average. Rush Creek and Country Club Plaza here in Kansas City, all lit up, very festive during the holiday season. Chiefs had an 11-play drive but came up empty. 2nd possession for the Bills. Jackson picking his way across the 10 out to the 12-yard line. Mike Brown, the strong safety, made the tackle. Well, the Chiefs came in today after losing their last 2 games by a combined score of 87-27. It was the first time the Chiefs had allowed 40 points or more in back-to-back games since 1983. And that was after winning 2 straight. Toss back to Jackson, cuts it back inside, and Fights his way to the 15-yard line. 3rd and 3 for the Bills. Second possession after going 3 and out. Fitzpatrick steps in. Sacked. The ball is on the ground. And let's see who got it. The Chiefs have it.
Well, what a big play for the Kansas City Chiefs. I believe it was Tamba Hali who came and made the hit.
Ron Edwards recovered the football.
And there you see Tamba Hali coming in. He caved in the pocket, but Vrabel is the one that actually made the hit that knocked the ball out of there. A lot of good pressure pushing the pocket. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he did have time to get that ball out of there. And generally speaking, Bill, when you were playing in the NFL, if you can't get rid of that ball on time, on rhythm, you got to either run it or get rid of it, or bad things happen.
Charles down close to the 5-yard line. Charles hits a wall at the 5.
A good, strong play by middle linebacker Paul Posluszny for the Buffalo Bills right there. It looked to me like there was a seam for Jamaal Charles. Here we go. 3rd down again. We talked about the hurry-up package that Kansas City's been working on the last few weeks. They really like this. Feel like they keep Buffalo off guard. Their opposing defense is off guard.
3rd and goal, trying to take advantage of the Fitzpatrick fumble. Castle to Charles. And he's short of the goal line.
Well, what's Todd Haley going to do here? Big question.
Has a decision to make. You know what the crowd wants.
I would expect him to try and go for it here, no doubt about it. You're sitting at 3 and 9. You got to do something to pump your team up and let them know you got some confidence in them, because any way you look at it, this is not a team that really has a lot of confidence in themselves or anything that's gone on this year.
Well, Todd is an emotional guy, and you would think that a coach like that would allow his players to go for it in this situation.
I think it's the right call. Matt Castle going to take a timeout.
And we're back. Chiefs going for it on 4th and goal, and Mike Vrabel has checked into the game. And look at that. The Chiefs have gone for it on 4th down more than any other team in the NFL, 23 times, tied for most converted with 12. And keep your eye on that man, number 50. He has 9 receptions for 9 touchdowns.
Only 12 total yards, but 9 touchdowns.
They fake it, and this isn't going to work. Great job by the Buffalo Bills and Aaron Schobel. A nice job defensively by the Buffalo Bills to keep the Kansas City Chiefs out of the end zone. They'll take over their 8-yard line. Marshawn Lynch is checked in, makes a nice move to the outside, and this is a big gain. Marshawn Lynch up the sideline and into Kansas City territory, finally stopped by Mike Brown.
And Bill, did you see who made the key block on that play? Ryan Fitzpatrick, quarterback. We'll see right here. I believe that this play was designed by the Buffalo Bills to come back, and there's the block, a good cut block by Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's a tremendous athlete. Look at him get down there and get the piece of Flowers right there. A pretty good athlete himself. Hard to get those corners down on the ground. Super job by Ryan Fitzpatrick just to spring Marshawn Lynch.
A pickup of 47 yards for Lynch, who had 60 yards on just 6 carries last week against the Jets. Lynch again, little stutter step. Fights his way down to the 40-yard line. And Steve, let's take another look at that stop on 4th and goal.
Well, watch right here. That's Mike Vrabel right there. You're going to see, I think Matt Castle told Jamaal Charles, but he's the only one he told that I'm going to keep this football. You can tell by the way Vrabel was blocking the backside. He had no idea that Matt Castle was going to come around. And that happened. A lot of times the offensive coordinator, the head coach will say, hey, call the run play, but keep it, take it around the outside. We're going to try and catch him off guard.
Vrabel was clapping his hands, saying, hey, throw it to me, throw it to me. Fitzpatrick over the middle. Nice catch by Sean Nelson, the rookie tight end, 4th-round draft pick out of Southern Miss. Colts trying to remain unbeaten on first down. Down to the 17-yard line. Fred Jackson. Brandon Flowers, the cornerback, made the tackle. Flowers has been battling a shoulder injury for most of the season. It has really just gotten worse, so he was a game-time decision. Decided to come out, try to play today.
Yeah, we were really led to believe that there was a very, very minimal chance that he would play today, so be interesting to see how that holds up.
2nd and 4 after the 6-yard pickup on first down. Good drive from the Buffalo Bills here nearing the end of the opening period. Jackson. Another nice run. Down to the 11-yard line. Alex McGee, the rookie out of Purdue, made the stop. Fred Jackson went to Coe College about 4 hours away in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And he got about 200 tickets for today's game. He said, I spent over $3,000. It's going to look like a Coe College alumni meeting. Jackson remains in the game. Toss it back to him. Right side. And brought down hard, but inside the 10-yard line, down to the 9. Tamba Hali made the tackle.
Well, we're seeing exactly what the Buffalo Bills told us we would see today. A really big, strong commitment early in this ball game to run the football physically. They're not trying to do anything with smoke and mirrors. We've seen them spread the field like on the play previous to that one, where they spread the field and try to run it up inside. But there is no deception going on here whatsoever. They think they can run the football with this Kansas City defense.
This may take us to the end of the first quarter. Fitzpatrick tries to throw it, goes to the end zone, incomplete. Lee Evans was the intended receiver. That'll bring up 3rd and 8.
If Ryan Fitzpatrick had a little bit better protection on that play, Bill, there would have been a chance to complete that ball to Lee Evans. He had to get rid of it a little bit before he was ready to. Good pressure by the Kansas City Chiefs defense.
Well, we saw the Buffalo defense make a stand. Let's see if the Kansas City defense can answer. 3rd and 8. Fitzpatrick from the shotgun. With time, finally checks it down to Terrell Owens. Owens with a nice little step, and did he get into the end zone?
Well, I think he was pretty darn close.
John McGraw pushed him out of bounds. That was awfully close. T.O. says, I was in.
Yeah, I think
it's a touchdown.
Watch this, though, Bill. Watch T.O. He and Lee Evans actually run into each other right here. Boom. Oh, look at that. Josh Reed in T.O. T.O. still has the presence to get open and find the football, get it in the end zone. I don't think there's any doubt that he was in the end zone.
Let's see if the ball crosses the plane of the goal line. It looks like it did.
It was very close. Note, I thought maybe that his foot got in and clipped that pylon. If that were the case, it would have been no doubt about it.
Bell converts the extra point. Eight plays, 92 yards on the drive, and with that, Terrell Owens passes Marcus Allen and, for the moment, Randy Moss into 4th all-time in career touchdowns with 146. Lance Long is the deep man for Kansas City, and he feels it at the 3. Bounce at the 23-yard line. Ready to start the second quarter, and that's updated now. The Chiefs have been outscored in the first quarter of this season, 83-19. That's the largest differential in the National Football League. Still not obviously reset the stadium clock, but they're ready to go on the field. Play action. Castle across the middle. That's caught by Chambers. Terrence McGee made the tackle. Chambers picked up on waivers from San Diego last month, had an immediate impact with 2 touchdown catches in his very first game with Kansas City.
Well, you're going to see Bradley right here. He goes and clears out the safety, and here comes Chambers behind it. Really a nice hard play action by Matt Cassel to pull the linebackers up and watch the ball delivered on the money, on time to Chris Chambers. That's a good, solid first down play action pass right there, just like you draw it up.
That was good for 24 yards.
Please set the clock to show 14:31. 14:31, please.
Alberto Riveron, our referee today.
And there's Chris Chambers, maybe a little shaken up on that play, but there are not many plays this year that have gone exactly the way the Chiefs have wanted them to go. Right there, that was a picture-perfect play, came up at the right time.
Fake the reverse. Up the middle goes Charles and into Buffalo territory. Oh, this is Charles. A nice move from the 3rd-round draft pick out of Texas. Pusluzzi makes the stop after a nice gain.
And we saw that was another example right there. Kansas City trying to control the tempo. They went with that hurry-up pace again between plays. Normally it's a 3rd down adjustment for them. Right there they did it on 2nd down and caught Buffalo off guard. On that same note, you were talking about Chris Chambers, though. We asked Todd Haley if he sees him part of the future here for the Chiefs, and he said definitely they'd like to explore that. They think he's been that valuable, and with Dwayne Bowe and he on the opposite side, they could be a pretty good force.
Play action after the 11-yard pickup. They're going deep, and he overthrows Mark Bradley. Bradley had a couple of steps on Terrence McGee. McGee coming back after knee surgery the first week of November. He played sparingly last week, but they said had a good week of practice, and that was almost 6 for the Chiefs.
And they've got to hit that. I mean, Matt Cassel knows that was an opportunity. You don't get many opportunities to score on big plays like that. When you get the chance, he was open by NFL standards. He was definitely open, and Matt Cassel's got to make that throw.
Shifting now from the shotgun. Cassel to Wade. Dives forward to the 30-yard line. Bobby Wade. Drayton Florence made the stop for Buffalo. Wade in his 7th year out of Arizona.
Here comes the no huddle again. And you can see the problem it's causing Buffalo right now. Forced them to take a timeout. They couldn't get the personnel on the field.
19 different receivers have a catch this season for the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the most in the NFL since 1950, not including the strike season. They fake the snap out of the shotgun, and this is going to be, looks a little bit short, but we'll have to see where they spot it.
Well, I don't know if it could be any closer, Bill. It's from our angle here. It looks like he probably got it, but they're going to have to measure. You're going to see
a direct snap to Jamal Charles.
Great acting job by Matt Cassel. And Jamal Charles using his lack of size to his advantage, hiding behind those offensive linemen. But a good job by Buffalo sniffing it out and creating a situation where at least it's got to be measured for here.
By about the length of the football. This will be the 16th play for the Chiefs in Buffalo territory. They need to come away with some points. Fresh set of downs for Kansas City.
Well, I am impressed with the creativity that Todd Haley is showing. You know, the shift in the moving, the hurry-up pace. It already was successful, forcing Buffalo to spend one of their timeouts. He's going in deep into his bag of tricks today.
Well balanced. Again, play action. Cassel checks it down to Charles. Out of bounds at the 21-yard line. Kansas City runs it. And Charles gets back to the line of scrimmage at about the 21-yard line. Marcus Stroud, the 3-time Pro Bowler, made the stop.
Here comes the no huddle again on 3rd down.
3rd and 4. Cassel. That's caught. Bradley and a first down for the Chiefs to the 12-yard line.
Right behind.
Just a real basic. I think Matt Cassel really feels comfortable in that hurry up. They've got a small package on third down, and I know Todd Haley, they keep expanding on it every week, but it's all pretty simple
plays,
stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
That was good for 9 yards. Moves the chains. And that might have been pass interference. The crowd wants a flag, so does Castle, but there are none on the field.
So do I. I would have thrown a flag on that one.
Bradley was the intended receiver, and it looked like he was bumped early.
It was a good aggressive play, but you're going to see the contact by Drayton Florence definitely before the ball got there. I don't know how you avoid it. He read the route perfectly and was right there aggressively going for the ball, but there definitely was contact with the receiver.
The veteran out at Tuskegee played for San Diego and Jacksonville, where he started 8 games for the Jaguars last season. 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass. Castle straight back to Charles. Nice move down to the 5-yard line. Brian Scott, the Will linebacker, made the tackle. Scott had been one of the Bills' starting safeties, took over as the Will linebacker when Keith Ellison went down.
Very nicely designed and executed screen pass there. A little quick screen to Jamal Charles.
3rd and 3, they can get a first down if they get it to the 2-yard line. Castle to Chambers. And it depends on his forward progress, and he did hit a wall around the 2-yard line. Paul Posluszny made the stop.
I really am impressed with how well Buffalo is running to these quick screens that Todd Haley's digging into. He's found a lot of different ways to run it. He's got a tough decision to make here again, too. I think they're a little bit short, but Buffalo is not at all fazed by these quick screens they're trying to throw at him.
And you can see that's just about a yard short.
Yeah, he went for it once. I don't know why he wouldn't go for it again. The problem in these situations, Bill, is that a lot of times he's gonna challenge the spot of that ball, but a lot of times you try to get a little too creative in these 4th down situations instead of just running what you do best.
Kansas City is challenging the ruling on the field as it pertains to the line to gain.
We're ready for the verdict from our referee, Alberto Riveron, today.
The ruling on the field stands. It will be 4th down. Kansas City will be charged with their 2nd timeout.
And what do you think, go?
We are going to see the kick. Personally, I think this is the right decision if you're a playoff team and if you've got a lot to preserve in terms of what the postseason and all the ramifications. I think right now Todd Haley could have easily justified going for it right there. You went for it once down at the other end of the field. Now you don't go for it. You're showing that maybe you don't have that confidence in your team. So I would have liked to have seen him go for it, but can totally understand why he didn't.
Ryan Succop on the try 21-yard field goal, has a long of 53. Rookie out of South Carolina. And he's got it. Succop after the 21-yard field goal. Line drive, fielded by Jackson. Jackson with a nice hole. Gets around the kicker, and a great return by Fred Jackson. And excellent field position for the Buffalo Bills.
Fred Jackson would like to have had a little bit more out of that play, but boy, that's a good solid return. He can do so many things for you. Perry Fewell, the coaching staff, feel like he is without a doubt the best all-around athlete on that football team.
They spotted at the 46-yard line. Marshawn Lynch is the deep back, and they give it to Lynch. Trying to get to the outside. And finally driven out of bounds by Mike Brown. Former Pro Bowl running back. Fastest Bill ever to get to 1,500 yards rushing. He accomplished that in 19 games. Came in today needing just 11 yards for 2,500 for his career. He's gotten that already. With that 47-yard run, that's the longest run of the year for the Buffalo Bills. 2nd and 9. 7-3 Buffalo. 9:50 left to go in the half. Short drop, Fitzpatrick. That's out to Nelson, the tight end, fumble, and Kansas City has it. Brandon Carr with the fumble recovery.
This is textbook, Bill. Watch the way he stands up, Smith right there, and then just rips that ball out of there. He knows that Nelson's not going to go anywhere. He's got enough of a piece of him to hold him up and wait for his support from the inside. And Nelson right there was looking for the next guy to come and hit him. And man, just ripped that ball right out of there. Carr just ripped it right out of there.
Chiefs have it at the Buffalo 49-yard line. And that is caught by Pope, the tight end. A little up-tempo from the Kansas City Chiefs now from the 44-yard line of the Bills. Castillo can't turn the corner. Nice penetration for the Bills, led by Paul Posluszny.
Boy, Paul Posluszny is just flying to the football. Listen to this one. Man.
In his third year out of Penn State, second-round pick in 2007. Wade moves into the slot now on third down. Castle gets rid of it. Charles, and that's a Kansas City first down, close to the 30-yard line. Posluszny brought him down from behind. And we have a flag on the play across the field, and the early indication is it's against the Chiefs.
Number 76 on the offense was not on line of scrimmage, 5-yard penalty. Replay third down.
Brandon Albert, the left tackle. And that will negate a big play.
That's too bad because the Chiefs got exactly what they wanted. You're going to see Albert right here on the left side. They said he was not on the line of scrimmage. There was no movement before the snap, but sometimes those big tackles try to take advantage and improve their angle at those defensive ends by backing off the line a little bit. And the referee will give them a little bit of a gray area, but if it gets too obvious, they got to throw the flag. But they had Jamal Charles isolated one-on-one on Paul Posluszny. That's a matchup they like.
Instead of a first down, it's 3rd and 11 to Charles. And he's going to be about a yard short. Brought down at the 40 by George Wilson. Well, another 4th and short decision coming up for Todd Haley.
And they're going for it again. Todd Haley 3 times in this first half already put in a 4th and 1 situation.
Carry fuel. 4th and 1 for Kansas City. Charles has the first down. Diving forward close to the 37-yard line.
No doubt about this one. They just went to a straight ahead run play off the right side. You had Ryan O'Callahan pulling to try and kick out the outside defensive end. There was nobody there. Made Jamal Charles's read that much easier.
Again, a lot of shifting for the Kansas City Chiefs. Castle, they keep it on the ground to Charles, and straight ahead down to the 30-yard line. Jairus Byrd made the stop.
Nice little change-up running play there by Kansas City, trying to take advantage of the aggressive nature of this Buffalo defense. It was almost like a sprint draw where Matt Castle was running to his left trying to pull the linebackers and then hand it back to Jamal Charles coming back to the right side.
Charles 11 carries for 41 yards. They'll throw it on 2nd down. Throws to the right. Bradley can't make the catch. Again, overthrows a receiver. Bradley had a step.
Well, Castle did a super job of setting this up. He saw the rookie Jairus Byrd, the safety right there, number 31, leaning inside. Matt pumped it inside the hole in there even more and gave Bradley a chance to get up the sideline. Matt just a little bit long again.
3rd and 3. Castle under pressure and goes down. Brian Scott with the sack, his 2nd of the season.
But how many times do we see it when you have a chance to make a play, for a big play or a touchdown. You don't hit it in the next play. There's a little bit of a letdown. Something bad happens, and now you come off the field feeling terrible as opposed to ecstatic if you would have hit the big play opportunity. I think one of Matt Castle's big problems, and we saw it last week on the drop pass by Bobby Wade, we showed it a little bit earlier. He's got to put a little bit more air on these balls to let his receivers run to it. They're getting behind, and we're seeing some confusion on the Kansas City punt team right now. But I think one of the problems that Castle's been having is just not putting enough air on those deep balls. These receivers are having a hard time adjusting to it and getting to it.
This is one of those penalties that won't matter a whole lot. Actually might help Colquitt, give him a little more room.
Yeah, in fact, Buffalo might decline the penalty.
And they do, for that very reason. 5:51 left to go in the half. 7-3 Buffalo. We've had plenty of offense in this ball game. Not a ton of scoring, but both teams have moved the football well. Fred Jackson and Roscoe Parrish are back deep for Buffalo. Colquitt from midfield, little pooch punt. And it will bound into the end zone for a touchback. Buffalo takes over at their own 20-yard line. 5.5 minutes left to play in the half. Fitzpatrick guns it to the sideline short of T.O. The Chiefs have outgained the Buffalo Bills 145 yards to 103, and the Chiefs have 30 plays in Buffalo territory, but only 3 points to show for it.
That's a lot of plays with not much to show for it at all. Right there, Ryan Fitzpatrick had a great opportunity to make a play one-on-one to T.O. He's got to make that throw.
Fred Jackson, the lone back, and they give it to him. Right side, flag on the play. Jackson is out to close to the 24-yard line. Demario Williams came in as the Chiefs' leading tackler, made the stop. And it's going to be holding on Buffalo. And that's Sean Nelson, the rookie, grabbing his left ankle. So obviously he's in pain. Helped up by T.O.
Bill, we talked a lot about the Kansas City offensive situation and what they've been through this year with the change of offensive coordinator. Buffalo very similar this year. You're going through the transition from Turk Schonert, who was the offensive coordinator all last year. And this is prior to the firing of Dick Jauron and Perry Fewell becoming the head coach. But Turk Schonert was fired before the opening game. Alex Van Pelt, now the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, never been a play caller before. So he's learning his way around as an offensive coordinator too. So that could really be a big cause of the offensive struggles for both of these teams. The fact that they've really had to make a lot of changes offensively, philosophically.
2nd and 20 for Buffalo. Fitzpatrick checks it down to Jackson. That's a nice move by Jackson, and he's out across the 20-yard line, close to the 22, and we've got another flag on the play. Flag is down on the opposite side of the field, and we've got a face mask call against Kansas City on Brandon Flowers.
Well, you're going to see right there, just hand to the face right there to T.O. That's just incidental, but they're going to call it automatic first down, which is really the big effect of it, because it would have been a 3rd and 8 situation coming up for him.
And we're set to go. Clock running, 4.5 minutes remaining in the half. Jackson is the deep back. Great penetration, makes one man miss. Jackson finds the corner and up the sidelines and out of bounds into Kansas City territory, pushed out of bounds by Mike Brown. A great piece of running by Fred Jackson.
Well, you're going to see Dion Gales right here, number 70. He's got a chance to make this play. He thinks he's got him right there. He must have closed his eyes or something. But Fred Jackson, great instinctive run there to spin away from it and make a huge gain, a 20-yard gain out of what could have been a 3-yard loss.
Dion Gales was just called up from the practice squad this week after the Chiefs released Kenny Smith. That was good for 18 yards. Fitzpatrick will throw on first down. That's almost intercepted. Vrabel had it. And he cannot believe he couldn't pull that in.
Well, Ryan Fitzpatrick knows better than anybody that ball had no business not being intercepted. It had no business being thrown. If you're going to throw it, it's got to be well up and over Mike Vrabel to where only T.O. has a chance to get that ball. But boy, Vrabel, they don't come in it. They very seldom come any easier than that.
So 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass. They're going with the Wildcat with Jackson. Jackson gets the snap, fakes it to Lynch. He's keeping it and fights his way down to the 40-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd down.
Good solid run there by Fred Jackson. It was nice. Everything was sealed off to the inside. You're going to see he makes the fake handoff to Marshawn Lynch right there and then comes outside, realizes that the inside is sealed off very well. If he makes a quick cut up inside of Tamba Hali, who has contained, he's going to make a good positive gain. There you saw it for 6 yards.
3rd and 4 for Buffalo. They lead 7-3. Shotgun. Extra protection in for Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick's going to run it. He's got some room in the first down. Diving forward, close to the 31-yard line.
And it's the subtle little things, Bill, that you're going to see right here at the end of this run. If Ryan Fitzpatrick would not have allowed Marshawn Lynch to cut right in front of him, right there at the end, just enough to seal off that last blocker on the outside, there would have been a collision, and Ryan Fitzpatrick would have had to fight for that first down. But he used his blocker very well, Marshawn Lynch, and he picked up the first down.
So they move the chains. 1st and 10 from the 32. Pitch back to Jackson. Cuts back inside. Brought down at the 28-yard line, close to the 27, by the left inside linebacker Demario Williams. Williams in his 6th year out of Nebraska. Clock continues to run. And that will probably take us to the 2-minute warning. Dorsey is out of the game with a knee injury. His return is questionable, so that's why we're seeing Dion Gales, the free agent rookie out of Troy. Jackson powering his way down inside the 25-yard line to the 24. Todd Haley called Fred Jackson one of the real under-the-radar guys in the NFL. He leads the Bills in rushing, 2nd in receiving, even threw a touchdown pass earlier this year to Lee Evans. It's a guy who can definitely do it all. 3rd and 2 for the Bills. From the 24-yard line. T.O. in motion. Fitzpatrick dumps it down to Lynch. Trying to fight his way to the marker. This will depend on the spot.
It looked as though he got the ball past the marker, but the question is whether his foot was out of bounds before he leapt for the first down.
They spotted it at the 23.
Watch his left foot. I think they're going to say his toe was out of it. You can see the ball definitely crossed that line. Now, Perry Fewell would have to question just whether or not that foot was legitimately out of bounds.
So we'll see Ryan Lindell, who came in having made 11 of his last 12 field goals, including a 56-yarder against Miami. 2nd longest in Buffalo franchise history.
And we are indeed reviewing the spot, Bill, of last play where Marshawn Lynch dove for the first down, or attempted to dive for the first down.
And whether or not he did step out of bounds a yard short, ruling on the field stands, and that will bring up 4th down, so they don't overturn the call. And we will see Ryan Lindell. He's been on quite a streak. 11 of his last 12 field goals converted, including a 56-yarder. This from 41 yards out to extend the Buffalo lead. Its way, plenty of leg, and good. Chiefs got an extension from the NFL, so they are officially sold out for the 156th consecutive game, a streak that started on opening day back in 1991. At the 4 by Long. Down forward to the 20. The ball's down. Let's see as they sort things out. Well, they retain possession. Let's take another look. Definitely lost the football.
No doubt about it. I don't know if anybody touched it. Long can't even see it there for a second.
Finally able to roll over and get it. Minute left in the half. Chambers out of bounds and a first down. Terrence McGee made the stop.
Well, I've been very impressed with Matt Cassel so far this first half, with the exception of those deep balls that he's just barely missed on. His decision making, his footwork, his delivery, his accuracy has been very good. He's 16 out of 20. Hard to do much better than that. Just missed a couple of big play opportunities.
For 122 yards. 58 seconds left from the 30. Cassel pumps it, lets it go. That's caught. Bradley. And his forward progress might have gotten him into Buffalo territory, and it did. They'll spot it at the 48-yard line.
Bobby Wade tripped over a blade of grass out there.
That was good for 22 yards. Shoots up in a hurry. Cassel under pressure and sacked. And that's a momentum killer. Spencer Johnson with his second sack of the season. The clock stops with 25 seconds left to play in the half.
Well, one bad play like this can snuff out a drive, but fortunately Kansas City a couple of timeouts. They still have plenty of time to get into field goal range.
So 25 seconds left from the 46-yard line. Cassel checks it down to Charles, and a nice open field tackle by Reggie Corner, the nickelback.
Really nice open field tackle. Kansas City's out of timeout, so they're going to have to try and use the sideline.
And Cassel throws it away. 4 seconds left to play in the half.
I really don't know what that second down play was. You take a dump over the middle to your running back for about a 2-yard gain with no timeouts. I don't know whether it was called or designed to go there, but I'm not comfortable at all with the decision to throw it to Jamaal Charles over the middle of the field with no timeouts left. You take a shot to the sideline or at least up the field because you know the clock's not going to stop.
So last play of the opening half. Incomplete. He overthrows Bobby Wade. Taken by Jackson at the goal line. The fight for extra yardage and brought down past the 30 at the 31. And let's take a look at the numbers from the first half.
Well, Buffalo obviously running the ball a little bit better, but the total yards heavily in favor of Kansas City. Time of possession, they've done a much better job than they normally do right there on third down conversions. 4 out of 11. Significantly higher than their average this year, but still really nothing to show for it. You've got to give Buffalo credit. They've buckled down when they've had to, and Kansas City, when they've gambled, it has not paid off for them.
Just underway in the second half. Bills lead at 10-3 from the 30-yard line. Offset I formation. Fitzpatrick is changing the play. Lynch is the deep back. Give it to Marshawn Lynch, able to get away from one tackler and picks up a nice gain. A pickup of 9 on first down. Corey Mays, the inside linebacker in his 4th year out of Notre Dame, made the tackle.
Well, this Buffalo running game, it truly is a two-headed monster. You just don't know going into the game whether it's going to be Fred Jackson or Marshawn Lynch. Both of them running the ball very well. Marshawn Lynch with the big play, the 47-yarder on his first carry of the game, but both these guys showed some explosiveness today. Well over 100 yards between the two of them.
47 yards, the longest running play of the year for the Buffalo Bills. 2nd and 1. Again, Fitzpatrick changing the play. Lynch is the deep back. They toss it back to him. Trying to get to the edge. Cuts it back, and he's going to be short of the first down. Good hitting from that Kansas City defense. Mario Williams led the charge in his 6th year out of Nebraska. And that'll bring up 3rd and 2 for the Buffalo Bills. Bills only able to convert 1 of 11 third downs last week against the New York Jets. 2 of 5 today.
This is a long 2.
Patrick, 3rd down. Lynch. He's not going to get it.
Not even
swarming
close.
Kansas City defense. He got back to the line of scrimmage, and that was it. Tyson Jackson, the rookie out of LSU, the 3rd overall pick in this year's draft, led the charge.
Just a good, solid job by the Kansas City Chiefs front line, holding off that line of scrimmage, getting a little bit of penetration, not letting Marshawn Lynch get up into the line. Tyson Jackson, very disciplined right there. When he saw the opportunity to close on the running back, he did a great job.
Brian Moorman, the most prolific punter in Buffalo history, a career average of 43.5 yards. This will bounce, taking a Buffalo roll down inside the 10-yard line. We're back in Kansas City, 10-3 Buffalo. Opening possession of the second half for the Kansas City Chiefs. They'll start from their own 9-yard line. And shifting, they go into the I. Charles is the deep back, short drop. Castle gets away from the initial surge and finally able to release it, but it's intercepted. Terrence McGee, and that was an ill-advised throw by Castle.
And Jamal Charles gets up with his shoulder hanging again. He's had the shoulder problem. Just a terrible decision by Matt Castle. Backed up in your own end zone. It's not there. Don't make a bad play worse by, number one, you take the hit. Number two, you just you hang a floater up there. You can't get your feet into it because you're running away. You're about to get hit. Terrence McGee will take that opportunity anytime any opportunity he gets like that. That's an easy interception.
Bradley was the intended receiver, and he had a couple of steps on McGee, but that ball was well underthrown. So a big break early in the second half for the Buffalo Bills. From the 24-yard line, they toss it back to Jackson. Cuts it back, and a nice pickup on first down. Out of bounds at the 17-yard line.
But going back to that play, Bill, you know, Matt Cassel did tell us they did a lot of shifting before that play. He told us on Friday, he said that shifting, it's good from one standpoint in that it gets them all confused, but we're trying to go on a quick snap afterwards, and sometimes I'm not sure exactly what the defense is going to do, and we're trying to rush the snap. Right there, he looked to his left side. It wasn't there. He looked a little bit confused and then made the bad decision to compound it. So not what you'd expect out of a quarterback of his level.
2nd and 2 for Buffalo, trying to take advantage of the Kansas City turnover. Looked like there was going to be a hole for Fred Jackson, but that closed in a hurry. Still good enough to move the chains. The tackle was made by Mike Brown. The other thing that Todd Haley told us is that Matt Cassel, a lot of times, he's just trying too hard to make a play, to make something happen. And that seemed to be the case there.
No doubt about it. There's got to be that understanding in the back of your head of your situation that you're in at the present time. That is not a situation to take a chance.
1st and 10. They can get a first down. Down at the 2-yard line. Jackson. That was a nice cut. And down to the 5. Good running from Fred Jackson.
A good audible from Ryan Fitzpatrick right there. You could see a lot of communication going on. Ryan Fitzpatrick saw something off the left side of his offensive line, realized there was a good opportunity for Fred Jackson to get up, and Fred Jackson does the rest. He feels the cutback lane open up, and a very solid 7-yard gain on first down.
So 2nd and 3 from the 5-yard line. Bills looking for early points here in the second half. In the offset eye. Play action to the end zone, and that's intercepted. Brandon Flowers. Wow. Unbelievable. One bad decision is answered by another. Pair of turnovers here early in the second half. Chiefs go back to work from their own 20-yard line. Jamal Charles back in the game. And let's take another look, Steve, at the interception.
Well, two really bad decisions by these quarterbacks. Ryan Fitzpatrick, you're going to see it 2nd and 3. He makes a nice fake right there. You're taking a shot at a big play, trying to catch him off guard. Now, before he throws his ball, the only area this ball can be thrown is back to that back corner or throw it away. Do not give a chance to Kansas City to get their hands on that football. That ball should have been put by that back corner pylon and nowhere else where either your guy has a chance to catch it or nobody does.
2nd and 8. Charles. And he stopped in his own backfield and brought down hard. Todd Haley told us the thing that has impressed him most about Charles is how tough he is. We saw him going to the sideline, grabbing his shoulder. He dislocated his shoulder last week, was out 3 plays, and right back in the game.
Well, and he says that his shoulder pops out on him pretty regularly. Just pop it back in, and he's ready to go.
After the nice play by Kelsey, tipped. And that falls harmlessly to the ground. Aaron Schobel got a hand on it, and the Chiefs will have to punt.
Well, these two teams right now are playing like they're 3-9 or 4-8 or something. Not playing very good football at this point.
Schobel able to get a hand on it. So again, we'll see Dustin Colquitt. Roscoe Parrish is the deep man. Good job by Colquitt fielding the high snap. This is going to be a short punt, and it will bound forward and finally downed at the 43-yard line. Well, despite the turnovers, it's still a 7-point game with 9:10 left in the third. 10-3 Buffalo. Bills take over at their own 44-yard line. Jackson powers his way out close to the 48-yard line. 2nd and 6 for Buffalo. Jackson the lone back. Stupar, the tight end, was the motion man. They pitch it back. There's a nice move back inside. And close to a first down is Jackson.
Good hit by Mike Brown to finish off that play, but a little bit too late. Fred Jackson picks up the first down. You see the Kansas City rush defense today. They've given up 161 yards. Has not been a strength for Kansas City, obviously.
Struggled against the run last week against Denver.
There's T.O. up top, one-on-one bump coverage.
Fitzpatrick guns it to the sideline. Lee Evans, and he is close to another Buffalo first down. And it looks like that will be a pickup of 11.
And I believe this is the first ball thrown to Lee Evans today. And that surprises the heck out of me, because you've got a guy there who's one of the most talented wide receivers in the NFL. We talk about Terrell Owens. Everybody knows about Terrell Owens. And Lee Evans is quietly respected around the league as one of the best, especially big play receivers in the league. You got to give these guys chances on the outside to make plays.
Sort of a soft-spoken guy, just goes out there and goes about his business. Came in 77 yards away from moving into 3rd place all time. The Buffalo receiving list. Lynch. Some tough yards down to the 30-yard line.
Well, there's Terrell Owens right there doing his version of blocking on a play there.
On Brandon Flowers.
Yeah, I think they had a little gentleman's agreement before that play that will just not make each other look bad.
So 2nd and 5. Buffalo trying to take advantage of good field position. Wheel route to Stupar, the tight end. And that's going to be another Buffalo first down. Stupar down to about the 22-yard line.
A good solid bootleg, a hard fake to the right side, and Ryan Fitzpatrick comes out and just giving Stupar a nice catchable soft pass.
In his first year out of the University of Virginia, seeing a lot of action after Sean Nelson, the rookie tight end, went down with an injury. So 1st and 10 for Buffalo on the move here in the 3rd period. Lynch stopped at the line of scrimmage. DeMario Williams made the stop.
Williams, 1 yard on the play. 2nd and 9 from the Kansas City 21-yard line.
Perry Fewell, we had the opportunity to talk with him yesterday, and he said, I'm like a kid out here. I used to just be worried about the defense, and now I get to break down film on offense and special teams. He said, instead of getting up at 6:30, I'm getting up at 4:30.
Yeah. And the team really seems to have responded well to him and his energy.
2nd and 9. Lynch cutting it back. Marshawn Lynch. Close to another first down.
Well, this play is designed all the way to go to the left side, but a nice cutback lane coming back right through here. Catching Tyson Jackson, number 94 there, and the rest of the Kansas City Chiefs defense over pursuing to the sweep.
That was good for another first down. It's been an impressive drive by the Buffalo Bills. 1st and 10 from the 12. Lynch up the middle. Fights his way to the 10-yard line.
Well, when you talk about Perry Fewell and what he's brought since the change from Dick Duran, you know, he's viewed this as an audition opportunity, and we asked the players, each of them that came in and talked to us yesterday, whether there's been a lot of change, and really there hasn't been a lot of change. It's just the one thing that Perry Fewell is focused on is really just trying to get them to play with a lot of energy and a lot of emotion. He felt like maybe prior to him taking over there was a little bit of a lack of that.
Second and 9. Fitzpatrick to Lynch. Driven out of bounds at the 6 by Brandon Flowers.
Well, you know what we're seeing right here, Bill. We're seeing the result of the bad decision by Ryan Fitzpatrick on the last drive. I think Perry Fewell and Alex Van Pelt have said, you know what, we're going to run the football, and then we're going to go with some little simple, quick bootleg action type safe passes where there really is not a decision to be made by Ryan Fitzpatrick. We're in control of this ball game. The one thing we can't do is turn the ball over again.
It's a 7-point game. Big play upcoming for this Kansas City defense on 3rd and 4. Here they come on the blitz. Fitzpatrick gets rid of it. Incomplete. Intended for Josh Reed. So that will bring out the field goal unit.
Now there was some pressure on Ryan Fitzpatrick that they came with the blitz off the edge and up the middle. Brandon Flowers came off the left side. You're going to see Javon Belcher, number 59, getting in there as well. But Ryan Fitzpatrick has got to make that throw. Lee Evans or Josh Reed was wide open. Got to give him a catchable ball because you just don't get those opportunities very often.
Dell on to try his second field goal of the day. This from 24 yards out. Norman with the hold. The kick is good. Lance Long awaits the Ryan Lindell kickoff. Fields it at the 3. Up the sidelines. And a big hit by the Buffalo Bills. That was Ashley Palmer. Buffalo Bills have done a good job in terms of rush defense today. Only 49 yards allowed. Came in ranked last in the National Football League.
Gave up 249 last week to the New York Jets.
And as we say that, big hole for Jamal Charles. Look out! The speedster out of the University of Texas. It's a race to the end zone. He's going to score. Jamal Charles. 76 yards.
Well, I guess ask and you shall receive. We were talking about it during the break. How Kansas City has not really gotten that running game going. And Shazam, there it is. There aren't many people that are going to run down Jamal Charles when he gets to the open field like that.
Jamal Charles. His 4th rushing touchdown of the season. And Ryan Succop with the extra point, and again, it's a 3-point ball game.
And we talked about it. You know, this Buffalo defense all year, they've been pretty solid the majority of the plays, but it's the big play. They got, you could see right there from that angle, there were 2 Buffalo Bills that hit the same gap inside, and that left a big gap to the outside of them that Jamal Charles was happy to go and hit and take all the way to the house for the 76-yard touchdown.
And that's the problem with the Buffalo defense. They don't have a lot of support in the second level.
That's his 5th consecutive game with a touchdown now as well. So this young man showing that he has a nose for finding his way to the end zone.
And this is now 9 100-yard rushers allowed by the Buffalo Bills. Plus Lesney there on the sideline. He's clearly frustrated.
Yeah, you know, you work so hard to shut down the opposition's running game, and then one play where you make a mistake, all of a sudden the momentum in this whole game has changed.
Charles, 14 carries, 116 yards. Taken by Jackson, a yard deep in the end zone. And pushed back from the 20-yard line. And that's where the Bills will take over 1st and 10. So the Bills will try to respond. 2:44 left to play in the 3rd. 13-10 Buffalo. And that has brought the crowd to life. Toss back to Marshawn Lynch. Following his blockers. Across the 20 to the 23-yard line. This is such a great franchise here in Kansas City with the tremendous fan base. They've been very patient as the Chiefs try and turn things around and get back to the winning tradition that's been so much a part of the 50 years of this franchise, which was started by one of the great gentlemen in the history of the NFL, the late Lamar Hunt.
This is one of the all-time proud franchises. This is as empty as I've ever seen this stadium. Sad, but always known as one of the most difficult places to play.
Lynch battles his way to the 25-yard line, and that'll bring up third down.
I think there's nothing that the Kansas City Chiefs defense would love more right now than to put all the pressure on Ryan Fitzpatrick. You know, when you're out there in the field, you can sense whether a quarterback is playing with confidence, and I think that this defense out here knows right now that Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Buffalo coaching staff don't have a lot of confidence right now. They want to put it on his shoulders, see if he can make the plays.
3rd and 5. From the shotgun. Here come the Chiefs. A flag on the play. Gets rid of it. That's caught by Josh Reed, but we're going to have to check the penalty.
And it's in the area where you'd expect it to be holding.
And that's the preliminary signal.
Holding, number 63. Offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, third down.
Jeff Handgartner, the center. And that's a tough one.
Well, it was a really nice job by Ryan Fitzpatrick right there, scrambling around, buying some time, then a beautiful
little touch pass there
over the top. Yeah.
19-yard gain will be negated.
And really couldn't clearly see what the violation was, but the important people did see it.
So far, the Bills have done a pretty good job on Tamba Hali. But 3rd and 15 from the Buffalo 15-yard line. Confusion on the play, and a timeout called by the Buffalo Bills. Third and long. Crowd on their feet here at Arrowhead. Fitzpatrick flushed in the pocket, gets rid of it to Lynch. And he'll be brought down at the 20, 10 yards short of a first down. So Buffalo will have to punt.
Well, Tamba Hali did a great job pushing the pocket right there, trying to create a little bit of disruption. That was what we were told yesterday by Todd Haley. This defense wanted to disrupt by pressure on Ryan Fitzpatrick and physical pressure on the outside, the rhythm of this Buffalo passing game.
That was a big hit by Derek Johnson, as we see Randy Norman. Great kick. Wade lets it go. And that was ill-advised. It'll be down at the 7-yard line. Back in Kansas City, you don't usually see a punt going over the head of the return man, but this was a booming kick.
It was a bomb, but indecision right there by Bobby Wade. That is what was the big mistake on that play. Bobby Wade has got to know that with a punt like that, doesn't happen very often like you said, but he's got to protect and know where he is on the field. He should have turned and tried to run that football down, and if he had the opportunity to pick it up cleanly, and Todd Haley's telling him, dude.
So giving him the talk to the hand, okay?
Yeah. But it's
so flag before the snap.
So those are those
False
hidden
start.
yardage.
Number 79, offense. Half the distance of the goal, still first down.
Jonathan Scott whistled for the false. Oh, I'm sorry. We're talking about the wrong team there, man.
Well, 43 plays in the first half for the Chiefs. only 3 points to show for it. 5 plays in the third quarter, and they had 7 points on the big touchdown run by Jamaal Charles. Charles trying to get to the edge. Didn't go down after first contact, but fighting his way across the 5 to the 6-yard line.
Super second effort by Jamaal Charles. Refused to go down. But there's a huge difference. You know this, Bill, but the huge difference between getting that ball inside that 10-yard line, backed up, and then you have a penalty moving back to the 5-yard line. You just cannot get into a comfortable offensive formation or mentality until you get out of your own end zone, until you get a little bit of breathing room. Very hard to feel comfortable calling any kind of an aggressive play.
2nd and 11. Charles stumbles and is stopped short of the 4-yard line.
They're going to go the hurry up third down package. Jamaal Charles, you know, he's had a history of fumbling the ball. I think that's why he went down there. He almost lost control of that football.
3rd and 13. Castle to the sideline, and Charles, and he's swarmed under immediately. Terrence McGee made the stop, and a quick sequence for the Kansas City Chiefs. They'll have to punt. The Bills again will have good field position.
It seems like the flip of the first half, Bill. The second half has been played predominantly on the Chiefs side of the field. First half, we saw Kansas City deep in Buffalo territory several times.
Colquitt from his own end zone. This is a short punt.
Really bad kick.
Well, it oftentimes is a game of field position. That was a 28-yard punt by Colquitt that followed the 73-yard punt from Mormon, and so the Bills take over at the Kansas City, call it the 37-yard line.
And Colquitt caught a near full from Todd Haley coming off the field as well.
Todd has been busy today. Check down to Jackson. Inside the 35-yard line. Fitzpatrick finally dumps it off, incomplete. And that was a terrific play there by Corey Mays on the pass intended for Lee Evans.
Well, a very, very shaky decision by Ryan Fitzpatrick. You know, this is not one of the better decisions he's made today, to float that ball high over the middle late like that. You're just asking for a tip ball or something bad to happen. Fortunate nothing bad happened there.
So 3rd and 6. Chiefs still in it, just a 3-point game. .21 left to play. They get it off in time. Incomplete. Jackson was the intended receiver. He threw it behind him.
I'm just not exactly sure what Ryan Fitzpatrick and Buffalo were trying to accomplish there on that last play. And in the last 2 plays, really very fortunate nothing bad came out of it. We're going to have a 51-yard kick by Ryan Lindell here.
He had a 56-yarder against Miami. A 51-yard field goal try from Ryan Lindell. It's down and no good.
Plenty of leg.
And we're back, and both teams have had plenty of opportunities in the other team's territory. Castle hit as he let go of the football. Chambers was the intended receiver, but well covered.
Right there, great job of pressure by George Wilson. Blitz him off of Matt Castle's right side. Matt Castle never got set to throw that football.
Another big shift. Charles gets to the corner, cuts it back inside. He is quick. Close to the 48-yard line, George Wilson, the strong safety, made the tackle.
Well, the rookie Aaron Maven for Buffalo, outside linebacker, had a chance to make that play, but he did something to his right shoulder, was not able to contain, and that gave Jamaal Charles the outside and a nice pickup.
Good game for Charles, the long touchdown run. 17 carries, 123 yards. 3rd and 3 for Kansas City. Castle guns it, and it's intercepted. Posluszny. Paul Posluszny with his 2nd interception of the season, and the Chiefs turn it over. He tried to force it into Chris Chambers.
And the ball, I believe, hit Chris Chambers in the arm. I don't know if it was very catchable. There was not a big window there whatsoever.
And now the Chiefs are saying they have the football. Posluszny fumbled it. My goodness,
wow.
What a sequence.
Yeah, great job of defense there by Reggie Corner to get that ball tipped up in the air. Now, that ball came out pretty late. I think you might see a challenge from Perry Fewell here. Well, boy, that's a tough call.
Charles came away with it.
Well, because technically,
but was he down or not?
Technically,
Kansas City is
Posluszny
challenging the ruling on the field of down by contact after the change of possession. Timeout.
And we're back at Arrowhead Stadium. The play is still under review. Whether or not Paul Posluszny, after the interception, fumbled the football, and it was recovered by Jamaal Charles. Let's see if we can tell from this angle.
I'm not convinced that right knee is hitting the ground right there. I mean, it's pretty darn close. But if indeed it does not hit the ground, he never was technically down because he was on top of somebody. Now, again, it's got to be very clear to show that his knee doesn't hit the ground. I think that's a pretty fine line right there. But definitely, if they decide that was not clear, that his knee did not touch the ground, he's going to be ruled down by contact.
Now, we're not 100% certain what on the play they were reviewing. They've had some level of communication problems, so they had to go to a hard line up to the booth, to the observer and the replay official.
The ruling on the field stands. Buffalo will keep the ball, 1st down.
And there you go.
And again, he didn't explain what the ruling was, but I'm assuming that he was down by contact is what was being questioned.
So the Bills will have it. Nursing a 3-point lead. Second interception of the year for Paul Posluszny gives the Bills the ball at the Kansas City 35-yard line. Jackson is the lone back. T.O. in motion. Owens brought down immediately just inside the 30-yard line by the linebacker Corey Mays out of Notre Dame.
And that just the 2nd catch for Terrell Owens on the day.
No huddle for the Buffalo Bills. Jackson cuts it back inside down to the 25-yard line.
And we've just gotten word that they were reviewing whether indeed Posluszny lost control of the football, and the ruling is that he did not.
Quarterback sneak on 3rd and short, and that should be good enough to move the chains. 1st down for the Buffalo Bills. Clock running, 10.5 minutes remaining. 13-10 Buffalo.
Well, obviously, Kansas City, their only goal right now is to hold Buffalo to a field goal at most. field goal, makes it a 6-point game, and definitely keeps Kansas City in the mode of, or the mental frame of, hey, a touchdown is all we need to get back in control of this football game.
Stupar, the motion man. Toss it back to Jackson, trying to get to the corner. He does. Able to turn it up and driven out of bounds at about the 21-yard line. And there you see his eye black there. I think it says D and then 3 for Coe College, Division III. His alma mater. As we said, Todd Haley believes this is one of the real under-the-radar guys in the National Football League. He's very tough to bring down.
We haven't seen him used as a receiver much today, but he's got the ability to go outside anytime.
Stays in the game on 2nd and 6. And down goes Fitzpatrick, and guess who? Tamba Hali. 7.5 sacks on the season for number 91.
Well, he caught Jonathan Scott completely off guard. He gave him the upfield move and then just ripped back inside. Jonathan Scott not near. You see the inside move there. Jonathan Scott thought he was going to come upfield with a speed rush, and that's the beauty of Tamba Hali on the outside. He's fast enough to make you always have to be aware of that upfield speed rush, and if you overcommit, he's a good enough athlete to make you pay on the inside.
Had 3 sacks last week in the loss to Denver, 2 forced fumbles, and 10 tackles. 3rd and long for Buffalo. They run the screen to Jackson. Jackson fighting his way, but short of the first down. Still on his feet and finally brought down at about the 18-yard line.
Now, we've really not seen a true opportunity for Ryan Fitzpatrick to try and make a play in the passing game. It's all been very, very conservative in this second half.
After the field goal, kicks it off. Lance Long, again, the deep man for Kansas City. This is a short kick, fielded at the 12 by Long. Wow. Another tremendous special teams tackle by Ashley Palmer, the backup linebacker. To Charles. And out of bounds after a pickup of 3. Brian Scott made the stop. Again, Scott, in his 7th year out of Penn State, had been one of the Bills' starting safeties, but he had to take over at the will linebacker position when Keith Ellison was hurt.
Yeah, a true safety, and you got to take your hat off to him for stepping up and showing that he can, for the better of the team, play that linebacker position.
2nd and 6 after the 4-yard pickup on first down. Play action. Castle to Chambers. He's got it at the 45-yard line. Chris Chambers. And we have another flag on the play. So let's check the penalty.
Holding number 64. Offense. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Niswonger, the center.
Now Marcus Stroud, number 99, agreeing wholeheartedly with that. You can see the takedown right there by Rudy Niswonger. Just a little body slam there. With a big man like Marcus Stroud, that's pretty obvious to see. He doesn't get thrown to the ground very often.
3-time Pro Bowler Stroud, who played 7 years with Jacksonville, missed some time last month with a knee injury. But that will take away a big gain for Kansas City. Castle tries to take off and then throws it away.
When you hit it right on the head, though, Bill, I mean, that kind of a penalty, when you need a play and you make the play in the passing game, Castle to Chambers, a big pickup, and you got a takedown by Rudy Niswonger. There really was no threat of Marcus Stroud getting to Matt Castle was kind of an unnecessary holding penalty that really took away a big play for Kansas City.
And another anemic quarterback rating for Matt Castle.
Yeah, very poor. Now, by the way, I'm all for holding penalties if the quarterback's going to get hit. I'm in favor of that, but Marcus Stroud was nowhere near Matt Castle.
3rd and long, 3rd and 16. Castle guns it over the middle. That's caught by Wade. And Wade has a first down for the Kansas City Chiefs. Bobbled it at first, but was able to bring it in.
Pretty impressive by Matt Castle right there. He wisely threw away the ball on 2nd down. Lived to see another day on 3rd down, backed up in his own end of the field. He stands strong in there. Good job of protection by his O-line, and then Bobby Wade finishes it off with a big catch, keeping their hopes alive.
Good for 22 yards. 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. Castle again. And Jamal Charles was in the area. He had actually been knocked down, an incomplete pass. Bills looking for intentional grounding.
Yeah, I think they were actually trying to set up a screen pass to Jamal Charles, but as you said, he got knocked to the ground, and Matt Castle had nowhere to go with that football.
So up in a hurry, 2nd and 10 from the 36-yard line for Kansas City. They trail by 6. Under 6.5 minutes remaining. One time on the play clock. Charles gets it back inside and down close to the 39-yard line. Spencer Johnson, who rotates in at defensive tackle in his 6th year out of Auburn, made the stop.
Well, you got a big 3rd down opportunity here. And again, Kansas City, the absolute worst in the NFL on 3rd downs on the season. Today, 5 of 15, a little bit better than normal average, but this is about as an important 3rd down conversion as they've had all day.
And they don't go with the hurry up. Blitz from Buffalo. Castle to Pope, and he's got some running room. The big tight end rumbles into Buffalo territory. Drayton Florence finally made the tackle.
Well, this was by design. It's actually a tight end screen. You can see Pope right there. He was running Schobel up the field. Aaron Schobel, defensive end from Buffalo, up the field, and then let him go turn around. There was nobody that it was assigned to him for man-to-man coverage. A nice call at the right time for Kansas City Chiefs.
And the 2nd straight pickup on 3rd down for the Kansas City Chiefs. That was good for 16 yards. Castile into the game at running back. The delay to Charles. He's got some room. Jamal Charles up the sideline. And a late flag. Charles out of bounds at the 13-yard line, but they may bring this back.
And they're going to, looks like they're going to get Chris Chambers on the call.
Holding number 11. Offense, 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Well, what a great move by Jamal Charles to go inside and around Aaron Maben. But right there you see Chris Chambers. Yeah, he's got a hold of him by that. You see the jersey getting tugged a little bit. You know, if the referee, that's one, if the referee's looking right at you, he's going to throw it. But I've seen a lot worse holding violations than that not get called. Let's put it that way.
And it would have been a nice pickup anyway.
It would have been exactly right.
So 2nd down, 4:21 left to play. Castile stacked up short of the 40-yard line. Schobel made the stop. 2-time Pro Bowl defensive end.
How about that number right there?
193, 20 receptions.
Jiminy Christmas.
That ties Terrell Owens
for most catches in a game.
3rd and 5. Castle flushed from the pocket. Flag on the play. Lets it go incomplete. And we may have pass interference. Lance Long was the intended receiver, and they might have gotten Jairus Byrd on the interference call.
Yeah, the rookie Jairus Byrd not excited about that call at all. Second-round draft choice out of Oregon. He's tied for the NFL lead in interceptions with 8.
Well, this may take a little while. We've got 3 flags on the
There
field.
are 2 fouls on the play, both on the defense. Holding, number 20, that penalty is declined. Pass interference, number 31. The ball replaces the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
They'll take the interference call on Byrd.
Well, Dante Whitner was guilty of the hold, but there you see, boy, you know, that is a really tough call because there was absolutely no intent for anything other than the football by Jairus Byrd. He's got a right to that football as much as anybody else. If I'm Perry Fewell, I'm pretty upset about that call right there because he was not even going for the hit on Long. He was going up for the football.
So they spotted at the 21-yard line. 3:37 left to play. It's a 6-point ball game with the Chiefs threatening to Long. Stays on his feet, but then brought down hard right around the neck, but it wasn't a horse collar. So the crowd wanted a flag. They won't get one. Aaron Maybin made the stop.
You know, I do not like that call at all. That call was one of the plays in the very first series of the game that Buffalo played very well. And again, the result not good for Kansas City at all. Same exact play.
And Brian Waters, the 4-time Pro Bowler, is down.
Fans wanting a horse collar here, but that was not a horse call. That's just a, boy.
That was just
That's just pretty much
snap me in half kind of tackle.
Bend but don't break him.
Wow.
Man. He's going to feel that one tomorrow.
Bill's first-round draft pick. Still trying to work his way consistently on the field for the Buffalo Bills. Rookie out of Penn State. There's a nice play there. Round of applause for Brian Waters as he leaves the field under his own power in his 10th year out of North Texas.
Plenty of time on the clock here for Kansas City. You got 2nd and 14. And it actually works to Buffalo's advantage if there is going to be a score. You know, Kansas City would like to use up a little bit of time before scoring, but at this point, you know, the obvious primary focus is to get in the end zone however and whenever they possibly can.
This is the 11th play of the drive. Castle gets rid of it and dropped immediately. Mark Bradley short of the 20-yard line by Drayton Florence.
Mark Bradley thinking he got a first down, didn't realize he's got 10 more yards to go. He got up signaling that's a first down, but I'm afraid to tell you it's 3rd and 10 now.
From the 21-yard line, without question, 4-down territory. And they will shift it back into the shotgun. Charles is back with Castle. Castle to Chambers, and he can't hang on. Incomplete.
What a great throw and read by Matt Castle. Delivered an absolute strike to Chris Chambers. And I'll tell you what, with the game on the line,
wow,
you have got to make that catch, Mr. Chambers.
That has been a huge problem for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep.
They lead the National Football League in drop passes with 37. We talked to Todd Haley about that. He said, look, I think it's more like 45 or 46.
Well, what I like about that throw, too, Matt Castle not only gave his receiver a chance to make that catch, made the right read, but he put it in the spot where he was protected. Kept that ball down low so Chris Chambers wouldn't take a hit.
30-second timeout.
Kansas City takes a timeout.
Well, even if he had gone down there, it would have brought up a 1st and goal. And that is the 39th drop pass this season by the Kansas City Chiefs, leading the National Football League. So 4th and 10 for the Kansas City Chiefs. 2:20 left to play. Castle tipped, intercepted. Jairus Byrd, guess what? He leads the National Football League with 9 interceptions, the rookie out of Oregon.
Now, that's a tough situation for Matt Cassel to be in. Trying to make a play, 4th and 10. You've got to pump it up the field. You're going to see the ball tipped right there by Brian Scott. Got his left hand on it. Otherwise, Chambers might have had a chance to make that catch, but Jairus Byrd, the welcome recipient of an early Christmas present right there, his 9th interception on the season.
And think about what might have been if Chambers can hang on and he can take him into the end zone. Then everybody's talking about Cassel bringing him back and march him down the field for the game winner. Instead, Chambers drops it, and the ball is intercepted, and that will diminish his quarterback rating even further.
Right, it ends up being his 3rd interception of the day when he made an excellent throw to give his team a chance to win the ball game the play previous to that. Tell you what, as a quarterback in the NFL, you better be able to deal with some adversity, and Matt Cassel's getting his dose this year.
Well, Matt Cassel, I'll just have to watch. 2:05 left to play, 16-10 Buffalo. Chiefs are out of timeouts. Jackson hit in the hole by Mike Brown, and that will take us to the 2-minute warning. 1:59 left to play. Big down now. If the Chiefs can stop him here, they'll get another shot. 3rd and 5 for the Buffalo Bills. From their own 28-yard line to Jackson. And he won't get the first down. So on comes Brian Moorman, the punter.
Well, Perry Fewell willing to put his money on his defense to hold up against Kansas City one more time. Not even willing to put the ball in the air and give Ryan Fitzpatrick the opportunity to make a play. Matt Cassel will have one more chance to be a hero here.
Long of 73 yards, a 57-yard average punting today for Brian Moorman. Letting the clock run down and calls timeout just before it reaches 0.
Well, this would be a great opportunity for Bobby Wade to earn some confidence back from Todd Haley right here. You know, the tension last week and a little bit of a confrontation earlier today with the punt return.
He's way back there, standing at his own 16-yard line. Moorman. High punt. Fair catch made by Wade at the 27. So Matt Cassel, a minute left, no timeouts after the 41-yard punt.
Well, a minute is plenty of time. You'd expect Kansas City to come out and call 2 plays in the huddle right now. Wouldn't be surprised to see what you see a lot of times in this situation, to start a 2-minute drive, a screen pass or a draw play. Try and just pick up a good quick 10, 12 yards.
From the 27. Cassel with time, and that is caught by Pope, the tight end. So that'll move the chains out to the 43-yard line. Clock still running, 45 seconds left. Cassel again, good protection to Charles, trying to get him in space. He dives forward, close to midfield. Posluszny dragged him down.
Well, you're taking a short pass over the middle. That's letting a lot of clock run off there. Not sure I'd keep throwing those short ones over the middle.
23 seconds left. Cassel spikes it.
And they got the ball back with a minute even on the clock. Now they've run 2 plays in 37 seconds. And not a lot of yards for it either. In the last interception, you're going to see a great job right there by by Brian Scott to tip that ball up in the air, and Jairus Byrd knows what to do. Yep.
9th interception of the season, the rookie. But again, you got to go back to the previous play with Chambers. It was a perfect pass. It would have been at the very least first and goal or a touchdown if Chambers could have hung on to the football. Castle under pressure now, gets rid of it, and that's caught by Chambers.
Got to clock it. They got to get up and clock it quick, and maybe get 1 or 2 shots at the end zone.
Spikes it with 7 seconds remaining.
Well, this is going to be it. I don't think there's enough time to go to the end zone once and still have any time on the clock if you don't get it. And what was the key play? Well, here it is. It was delivered as a perfect strike by Matt Castle. There's really no excuse that Chris Chambers can have for not making that play.
How different the headlines could be. Chambers is able to hang on to that. Castle throws it to the end zone. Jump ball. Intercepted. Yes. And a couple of Bills had a shot at it. Todd Haley wants a flag.